Hey guys, welcome back. Friends, today we will try to understand the concept of initialization and destroy method, and these are the custom initialization and custom destroy method, by the way. For doing so, we have this very simple program where we have this bean whose name is status, and the application bean is based on this my insurance bean. And if we navigate to this beans.xml file, this particular bean is based on this bike insurance class, and inside this bike insurance class we have this method show status, and this method does nothing but it returns this text. And if we execute this particular program, then we have the output your bike is insured. Means there is no rocket science. This is very simple program which is known to us. And now if we check this beans.xml, then inside this beans.xml we have this bean my insurance, and if I navigate to this beans interface, GUI interface, and highlight this my insurance bean, then we can check a couple of options. Out of these options we have this init method and destroy method. Now friends, we can define the initialization method and destroy method in here, but first of all we need to define those. Now the name of initialization method and destroy method could be anything, so let's proceed further, and here we will code these methods. These would be like public methods, and return type would be void, and we will give the name as maybe start. The name could be anything, it's up to you. And this particular method will display a very simple message. The message would be started. Now the user can definitely add some complex code in here and do some additional computation in here, but in order to make things simple, we will only display this particular message. The message would be started. Now definitely we can add more logic inside this start method, and it's up to the need of the program, but in order to make things simple, we would be simply keeping this a very simple method where we would be displaying only a very simple message. Likewise, we will also add one yet another method whose name would be end, and we will display the message as ended. Alright, so everything is damn simple. If I again navigate to this beans.xml, remember the name of these two methods, then we can now define the initialization and destroy method. The initialization method would be start, and the destroy method would be end, which is very simple in fact. And in here we need not to write the pair of parentheses or anything like that. We simply need to give the name of the method. That's it, nothing else. Now if I navigate to this user.java, what happens is that during the life cycle of this particular bean, this particular method would be called automatically during the initialization phase of the bean. In fact, we have already checked the life cycle of the bean in the last lecture. Likewise, after we close the context, we would be calling this end method. Let me show you in user.java. After we call this particular statement, or we execute this particular statement, then we would be calling this particular end method, which is very straightforward, right? So now finally let us execute this particular program. Here we go. So as soon as the bean get instantiated, this particular start method will be called, and started would be the output for it. Then definitely we would be displaying the message which we receive from this start status method, which is your bike is insured. And after closing the context, then we would be calling this ended method. I suppose you guys remember the life cycle of the bean which we have checked the last lecture. So this is all about this particular initialization and destroy method